have a country that we will all be proud of. And that's the reason why we're having this press conference. As civil society organizations and groups, I'll first introduce from my right to the left, other civil society organizations with me on the table. We have Fanta, who is with NYP. Fanta is with NYP. We have Lamin Diba, who is with the Center for Budget and Macroeconomic Transparency. I got it correct this time? Yes, Center for Budget and Macroeconomic Transparency. They do budget work also. And my colleague from the Activista, Ansumana, thank you so much also for joining us, Activista. We sent this press invitation just yesterday, and within less than 24 hours, the media is here, and we are very grateful for that. So I will hand over to my colleague who will read out the statement, and then we will start.
Thank you, media. You were on time. Thank you very much for that. And here it begins. Joint civil society statement on the illegal removal of the Auditor General, an attack on democracy and the rule of law in the Gambia. On September 15th, as the world commemorated the International Day of Democracy, we are reminded that democratic governance is not a privilege, but a fundamental right. The only path to freedom, justice, and dignity. On that day, the government assaulted constitutionalism and democracy in the Gambia. The Gambia's democracy is young and fragile. For over 2 decades, Gambians lived under the grip of dictatorship. In 2016, it was the courage of ordinary citizens, women and men, young and old, that lawfully brought an end to the dark era. Some paid the ultimate price for this freedom. We honor and remember our fallen heroes and heroines whose sacrifice secured our right to live in dignity and liberty. Yet, less than a decade later, the very foundations of this hard-won democracy are under direct attack. The bitter irony of history is that the individual who benefited most from the people's rejection of dictatorship, President Adama Barrow, is now dismantling the very democratic order that elevated him to power. In blatant violation of the Constitution and the National Audit Office Act, the President has unlawfully and forcefully removed the Auditor General, the head of one of the Gambia's most vital independent accountability institutions. This illegal act represents not only a direct assault on democracy and the rule of law, but also an attack on the sovereignty of the Gambian people. Worse still, the President has turned the police into instruments of repression, weaponizing them to intimidate citizens who exercise their constitutional rights to free expression and peaceful assembly. This is not a mistake. This is not a misunderstanding. This is a deliberate and calculated assault on accountability, transparency, and democratic governance. Why this removal is illegal? The legal conditions governing the removal of the Auditor General are clear and unambiguous. Under the 1997 Constitution and the NAO Act of 2015, valid grounds for removal as enshrined in the NAO Act of 2015 are as follows. Number 1, completion of a fixed tenure of 9 years. Number 2, voluntary resignation. Number 3, attaining the mandatory retirement age. Number 4, proven cases of incapacity, misconduct, or incompetence as determined by either a medical board or a tribunal established by the President. None of these legal conditions has been met. Instead, the President has chosen to act outside the law, as though the Gambia were his private estate. This is nothing short of a constitutional coup, where the executive hijacks independent institutions and subverts democratic checks and balances. Why this matters to every Gambian? If this unlawful action is allowed to stand, no institution or official will be safe. Not today. Today it is the Auditor General. Tomorrow it could be the Ombudsman, the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, the Chief Justice, the Chairperson of the National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, or the Speaker of the National Assembly. When independent oversight bodies are undermined, corruption flourishes, human rights protections erode, and the nation slides back into autocracy. Our demands for the protection of democracy and the rule of law, we make the following urgent demands. Number 1, immediate reinstatement. The Auditor General must be reinstated without delay to complete the lawful 9-year tenure. Number 2, lawful process for removal. Should the President seek removal, it must be done strictly according to the Constitution and NAO Act by convening a medical board or a tribunal as required by law. Number 3, end intimidation and harassment. The Gambia Police Force must seize all unlawful actions against the Auditor General and any other citizen exercising their constitutional rights. Their duty is to protect the Republic, not serve as enforcers of illegal executive orders. Our commitment to defend democracy, we will not relent. We will not allow the sacrifices of April 10th, 11th students, Dada Haidara, Solo Sanding, and countless other fallen heroes and heroines to be in vain. We will not surrender our hard-won freedoms to creeping autocracy. We will resist using every lawful and peaceful means until the Auditor General is reinstated, due process is respected, and the laws of the Gambia prevail over the whims of individuals. On this International Day of Democracy, September 15th, let it be known, democracy is not a gift from leaders to the people. It is the birthright of the people, defended by their courage and secured by their laws. The Gambian people will defend democracy for the Gambia, our homeland. This is a joint statement by Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice, Center for Budget and Macroeconomic Transparency, the National Youth Parliament, Activista de Gambia, Team Gomsabopa, Solo Sandeng Foundation, Women's Association for Women and Victims Empowerment, Beikanyang, Fantanka, Movement for Social Justice, Think Young Women, Music for Change, and Charter 70. Thank you very much.
These are very serious and salient issues that are happening in the country right now. Very serious and salient issues. We've even seen, even the National Assembly has put out, a matter of the day, all right? And as we see, this thing might even go through a legal process. All of this is going to cost the Gambian taxpayers a lot of money when already we have so many things to deal with. This could all be addressed if the president does the needful, does the rightful. So we will have the statement. Ansumana Kamara from Activista, he is one of the 13 civil society organizations that have signed this statement. And ladies and gentlemen, I now hand you over to Ansumana Kamara from Activista.
Yosef, ngamo be kontong itola, na media has sol kontong minul kafutan fe jam promukaje ko. Nganna kuma kan funtinde na balambaya anin na niku ya ko la miyalonko abetama kan yimbanko kanjang. Dembe diamu kanto mo Ansumana Kamara leti beddo ko la damento wolom Activista di Gambia de. Wol mu kafol leti minul kafuta kafol kam minta fo kafutan ning saba kaje ko nga funti kadiamu ko la miyalonko abe kiri yimbanko kanjang. Kana niku ya tandi bawombe min kono bi mo kuleti miyalonko ndol bele keleta ko la fom futata jambi. Woton dolbe min kele kaje ko kayro nin tenku ngi sabata nyim banko kanjang kaje ko luwa ke kuti mi yalon ko wolebe kelantaram bulodi nimmo killing wala mo dantang lafta pour mo kaw fundinde kaje ko ka tinya pour mi da mala kunna nafa wala da mala nafa wonyanda ka ken tolla lodu lalete kaje ko ngaw ko wol bay woto nin kumu nyinne ya sabu ka benjam bi pour mo kanyim press conference commande aseke non ta read la directly baru kuma dantang fundinde mi yalon ko di baye wala read nin angale kangola wolbe kala kuti mi yalon ko be fundinde la demanding na statement no kono jang wala mu pour mu kayitandiro ko Gambian be nyimmin kono wala mu democracy wala mu maral nyaati be min kono bi mu fenneti aseke no Gambia se dindi yano akonole bawo sanji sey komanto kata fo sanji tan komanto be tajirente amaralo min kono jang aketa kuti mi yalon ko banku jamaay bala fa soto Gambia civil society organizational musol kewolu dindin keba e wulita pour mu kaje ko ya kafu nyoma ko tajirente ya bayni banko kanjang adu momin natan nafa soto bayro nyin kono wala keta banko la nyaton koti His Excellency President Adama Barrow bari na niku ya kan ate president kilon nata ke mo kilingo to mi yalon ko ntol binga kelo ke ko min kamma kaje ko maral kendo e soto kaje ken na luwa ta ko anyanta kata nyamen ay bulamol ko no mi yalon ko abe o foundation no nyinti nyanka o keta kuti mi yalon ko ay si jambi bawo min keta surtout ka auditor general ka dia kuyato wulindi ala sirango kan ayatara ko mimbe safarin na banko la loi buko kono min keta na 1997 constitution oti ani nim flanjam bala National Audit Act min fundindi wala NO Act 2015 wol keta kuti mi yalon ko ala bondiro nin silo manta adun nim flanjam fanam bala nyapin kan min ka ke funding kel kan ka kutilim balol tilila ke bunninti aga so la ni fundira pour mkela balamba ya itandi ayatara ko na luha buko na be safarin je ko moli nyanto soto pour mkela ni ko ani la balamba ya itandi ka polisol kidindi funding ke wol kan ka tiaga so fay ka miyalon ko amada ndulalon wol dul keta kuti miyalon ko na statement o ya fundinde adul lafta pour mu kay tandi banko la dingol la ko anim mol minul be banta minul ben jibe kan kay tandi la ko nyimo kuti miyalon ko in civil society organization ol ya bayle kaduma carte o fay min na 2016 kaje ko man sakunda falingo yake ani mimbe kerim bi ning mo kuti ibaja la ko wol fatatale domande jama se nyinin karo ke muniya tinna ndol nga mirako auditor general ye min bondi ka dia ko yato wulindi ala palaso kan muniya tinna ndol nga mirako ala bondiro nen silo manda sartol minul be safarin na loi bu ko kono min kada 1997 constitution oti anim min be safarin national audit office la act kono wolom wila maralam buloti ifanan kam mi use kaje ko ibe la do ko kelano nyaadi le atare malluwa tinya ko pour muka bondiro ke surtout auditor general la sarta dantam bije minul yalon ko be suffering adun mi kulade mi yalon ka mantara kilis kala so kono adun bondiro nyin kata nyami wona tay tandi ko bondiro nyin manke ko keku sarti folo e mingi tandi wala muko ning ayatara ko e nyanta pour muka bondiro ke wo palaso mimbe sirin je a nyanta ka tarle amari sanji kononto amari nyanta pour muka wala saf ni audit act jinjiba ka fa completion of a fixed tenure of 9 years adu ni auditor general min dia ko yato wulindi ala tenure ma wo si folo kele fulan jangoy min tandi wala ko voluntary resignation wala mu ning afan wulita ko mbeddo ko minna nta kala no kotenke ay safiro ke ko ay foñol ndol ngam mim moy media to aning ngam mim moy government official la minuli media la interview grant wala mu ko e ko ye wala tumi ko atata le fo anim president sonta ka palaso nyinta bare luwa bugo kono ko ako ning amari resign ta ado nyimma fo ko ay foñol itol ko le ko asondale ay tandi president ko nga palaso nyintale ado niwo ko mol fango jibe wali do man nimba ko mol nyin kono sabanjango mi tandi wala ko ako attaining the mandatory retirement age bawon tol be ngalon ko ni be man sakunda do ko la sanjo le bije ni mari futata sanjo min la do ko manyana katambi no wo sanjo so luwa tandi ko ning atara ko amari futata wo sanjo la ate tambila no hanning atara ko saying amala sanji konon do bang nafta do sanjo la amari nyanda ka jile nani jango min tandi wala ko ning ayatara ko amari inata min korsala koto bari fana wo medical board le nyanta ka pour mu kawo confirm ko nying asekeno killing asondo mo mantara bala asekeno londo lukari mo mantara bulu pour mu ka nying do ko nyin sambano wala kisikisiro dol ke menul yalon ko asekeno molle sita pour mu kala ko kisikisi nata realize ko abe do ko samba ka nyami nga mantara samba kan wo nyamo kisikisiro nata recommendation ol di ko a ñantale pour mo ka bo palaso ñinto woron tol nga ñing kuma nano min be fo jam ba wole be safarin na loi bu ko kono an ning bu ko miye ñing national audit mara wol be keta kuti mi yalon ko man sakunda man silotani wala wala ya sabun tol na miroto wala ko president an ning mol minul kafuta ñola pour mo ka audit na auditor general la palaso ñing busi yala ka dia ko yato wulindi imam banko la loi bu ko non wala yati nangana balamba ya itandi be kiliro fanankela president la pour mu kaje ko kanindiro dol kala kanindiro minul yalon ko be demanding folaje nyaato demanding bari fanan mune yatin nan tol nganyum ko kuma yande pour mu ka dunya be kala mutandi ko loi mu lualeti adu loi ning ayatara ko bondirobe kela surtout palaso la miyalon ko wole ka kisi roke mansa kundala taram bulo la beteke banko la nafulo ka dum mintole moja malle na banko la nafulo tinya pour mu kaje ko ye safero ke itandiro ke gambia dingol la anim mansa kundala ka foy ko tol ngamra ko alsanyin simfa nyaale tano ko corruption o be nyundula kartol al nyantale pour mu ka bay bawo ko man ton tol be nga kalamta ko woketa kuti jang miyalon ko adiyamo siata nyim banko kan jambaki GPA la isu fundita jan National Audit Office le race IEC isu fundita je investigation ol keta mansa kunda mol kela namul jo daminul to pour mu kaje ko yela do ko ka nyamo taxpayers la monika dun damindo tiñarol ka National Audit ñing auditor general mem bondi wala nanga ala mol wulita pour mu kaje ko dunya be akalam dako ndol kan na nafulo min jo pour mu na banko la yirwa kolu kaje ko kolyami be ñim banko kan pour mu ay bo ñin adala mol ning ala office la mol le wulita pour mu kaje ko banko dingol be wo kalamuta pour mu falingo yake bata membe funding ke wol kan bata membe musol kan bata membe gambe dingol be kan pour mu ay bo ike ibaka la ministati aka malafi forcé to lu waye min fokata ni wole ko wote kela adun njapin kan min kata nyin kan dol ngam min korasi wala mu ko ning dam mankala ase keno nit ñi ndongo tambita isen ombudsman la office o mano la kele adu wo fana mo office ko mayari mbalete fulan jango iso IEC la office o manole min keta independent electoral commissions la office o di minul marta carte fa yo kunyala bawo next year nka dun election yala kono min be kala sinin sama ni kanata nyi nongola mo malo fulan jango saban jango ise hani chief justice fango manole bawo ning ayatara ko mo la nyantul tinyata kiti bungol katara je damento yalon ko mol kata pour mu kaje ko yenna nyanto murundina wose manole hani speaker of the national assembly asike ki moti mi yalon ko afana se baran bulano nyi number ko wol konol ning ayatara ko na bankola taram bulo ka funtin na luwa bu ko kono min diata moliye mi yetol fevo ila kunna nafa ko damaji be pour mu kaje ko ka mol bondi palaso to aya tar ko sartol be safede sarta koyringol ko wala nyanta pour mu kawol funtin ngani jiko finance to ko asike no ning atambita wola hani national human rights commission la chairmano isa mano le pour mu ka bonda la palaso to bawo bi ngeen na nyanto tinya nse borno NHR sile nga foy ko nyinne be kere lefta pour mu ale jibero kala woto ning atada ko national audit mano is national assembly la speaker mano is ombudsman la office manual is independent electoral commission manual is national human rights commission fana manual wala yatinna bawon tol ko beddo ko minna wala mo pour mu kake banko dingol nyaati kake banko dingol kangoti kake mol kangolti minul yalon ko man plateforme mol soto pour mu ka diam ka funti ka nyitandi gambia dingol la ko nyinno mu kolti minul yalon ko abe kiri lafta pour mu ka kanindir dantan neke adum be lafela pour mu mansakunda president baro ni la mol alsi la moy mol la baki follow me kanindir follow min kala wala mu the immediate reinstatement of the auditor general ko nyin kafutani sabo mi nyin statement o sign ka safe ka sign na kanindir follow min ke wala mu ise auditor general ya murundi ala palaso to sign kon tol fanan na nyanto lem pour mu ka kanindiro ke nyanto bu ka dani ka kaninne wala ya na be kanindiro ke ka nyenna killing ko the immediate reinstatement of the auditor general fulanjang ning ayatara ko abeto pour mu ka auditor general bondi ba fole inila moliye ani mol minul ke yamari pour ye murun yeta bukol kono jibe kabon 1997 constitution kono kata fodi NAO Act 2015 ko abe saferin ne ko sartol le biye nyanda ka minul ta yewo sartol jibe kilinna ni ba bondi la ya bondi nin silo la bar nyapi ngam amanya naka boni wala because mbota wala kono adun te murla wo kono sabanyango laftak pour muka min kanin wala mu into intimidation and harassment fo auditor general office lembang ka polisol kije iningi la tiya gasol aningi la jorang bal minul yalon ko pour muka mol kijo farande ka diya ko yato wulinde ala palaso kanka fa ko ibe bola jele diya ko ya wonyanda ke kulati mi yalon ka nyanda dannale anim fana nim fonni kewol funtita ka polisol wulindi kamma kata ke bundinti ya gasola ke arrest ningi pareta ye samba code ka foy ko be bellale ningi parete ka foy ko nyim belo la taymo ko ne manyana ka fundi pour mkela balam baya itandi atara na banko la loi bu ko le ko mo be right so le to peaceful assembly ol be nyanda ke kuti mi yalon ko na kanendiro kala pour mu daye kala with immediate effect lafta pour mu kan na diamo kuntunin damen dola wala mo mba ay tandila banko dingol la ko ntol na lodula mindi bi wala mo kaje ko gambia dingol la dahabe damen adun mbenyin do ko minna hanin ayatara ko e civil society bele arrest ntol benna do ko minna kuta bondila kuta stop la we are very much committed to this work that we are doing because mbake kam fangol le mbake kan dingol le mbake kan nañol le ku jama be nyim banko kanja mi yalo ngon tol ngamira ko wol nyanda ke kuti pour mo sakunda nyanda ke nyaatilin damin tola dina kela energy direct towards ka mul dia ko yawol ndi la place wol kam ko le ambe nyim banko kanja mbi nga jela man sakunda la lonka nyanda ke wol di pour mo woy bank dina ka fondin ke wol tilimbalia ke samba ke bondi police station kilin ke sounded la dolto ke bondi ke samba mile 2 ke samana prum ke kitindi ni pare de ko ngal bulale ini go kija faro din silan katara sirin suokon pare wonten solution oti because ndalbe do ko minna kuta danna adon kuta bola ala barka baake.
It's very important for us to highlight a few things. We've highlighted our commitment. What drives this commitment? In our statement, you hear people who have children making reference to April 2000. Yes, those children inspire us because they were standing for justice, as young as they were. We are inspired by the likes of Solo Senden, who fought hard for us to get this democracy which we have. And in our statement, one of the biggest benefactors is the current head of state, who has been in power since the change. Was this what was promised to us? Us as Gambians, this matters to all of us. We all have a responsibility. Starting from the head of state to the citizen, to that baby that was born just today. They all have a responsibility. And we have a responsibility to the generation yet to come. This should drive us. Our standing here together, coming together as one, is what we hope should drive the rest of the citizens to make sure that we resist. We will not relent and we will continue to resist. So we will have the statement read out in Wolof from Fanta Sane. Fanta Sane is working with the National Youth Parliament, NYP, who were here in their office and able to deliver this statement. Fanta, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum mbolo rafetlu sen taxaway tay parce que biñ leen oyé dem rek la won té tay gis nañ fi mu ngi fess ak caméra pour ngeen mëna génné luñ fay jotta waxtané tay. Suma olof nak setut bu baax té luñ fi jotta ci sosi ak anglais bari na torop waye dina ko jéma gatal su ko défé ñi lak olof ñu mëna déggal lañ fi jotta wax. Comme suma naataangoo ni ñu ko waxee rek gis nañ ne fan yi niw passé gis nañ ne président Adama Barrow maanaam government bi génnee neen kii xam ne si place am wala place liggéeykaayam mooy kii ñoo ooyee di auditor général ku liggéeyam auditor général bi nag liggéeyam mooy lan mooy gis ne government bi suñ jëlee suñ xaalis yi maanaam suñ fayee suñ lempo ba pare suñ taxe yi gis ne xaalis bi government dañ leen jox liggéey mooy ne ñu jël xaalis bi ñu dugal ko foo xam ne dinañu njëriñ ñun doomi réew mi waaye gis nañ ne président yi government suñ spene xaalis bi office of the auditor general ñooy delluwaat seetuwaat na xaalis bi fi ñu leen sant ñu dugal ko na dugal nañ ko fa ndax mu ñoo njëriñ ñun doomi réew mi so loolu mooy liggéey National Audit Office te ki ñoo wax nii mooy auditor general lu ñoo wax mooy government bi président bi amul drive pour génnee ko si office am waaye gis nañ ne fan yi ñuy passé président bi génnee na kii ñoo ooy auditor general bi si office am amul rek si génnee ko dem na ba jël police yi yóbbu leen office of the auditor general ñu make sure ñu génnee auditor bi by force génnee ko si office am pour teg fa keneen lii nekk loo xamante ne naxari na waa office boobu noonu ñu faa liggéey naxari na doomi réew mi tamit ñun ñi civil society foog naa loolu moo waral suñ teewaay tey parce que dafa nekk loo xam ne neexuñu te daf ñu naxari lan moo tax nag mu naxari ñu parce que teguwut si yoon te Gambia dafa nekk réew moo xamante ne loi moo ay sarta la ñoo doxee loi dëkki loi la soo da ngaa gis ne président bi koo xamante ne moom moo nekk di number one person koo xam moo war a protect loi bi mooy ni koo xam ne dafa war a gestu loi bi kooku moo nekk ni koo xam ne tey mu ngi koo yaaxal mu nekk loo xam ne moo tax ñu génn fii tey pour wone suñ naxar as civil society organisations but as comme dëkk bi si boppam emut si génnee auditor général bi rek gis nañ ne buñ yóbboo foofu demee police yi buñ demee office auditor général indi attaque nañ ñoo xamante ne ñoo nekk ndawi réew mi ñooñu nag demuñ sax pour protest dañ demoon foofu noonu pour deliver press statement comme niñ leen def nii tey waaye gis nañ leen ne dañ leen arrest am na ñoo xam ne dañ leen tear gas am na ñoo xam ne dañ leen dóor arrest leen yóbbu leen si prison bi am na ñoo xam ne dañ dem koot sax démba ñu béel leen waat lii nekk na loo xam ne teguwut si yoon te ñu ko naxarlu lool as civil society organisations lan moo tax mu lii ñu gëm ne président bi lu mu def teguwut si yoon parce que auditor général bi soo koo génnee dafa am sarta yu loi bi teg according to suñ constitution bi mooy loi buy doxal Gambia ak NAO Act of 2015 loi bi nag lan la wax mooy auditor général bi soo koo génnee sarta bu njëkk si lii tax nga war koo génnee completion of a fixed term of 9 years mooy juróom ak ñeenti at la war a toog si office boobu noonu pour nga mun koo génnee loolu su demee ba liggéey ba mut loolu rek war nga koo mun a génnee mu kenn nga teg fa keneen ñaareelu sarta bi rek mooy lan mooy voluntary resignation mooy ne auditor général bi si boppam su demee mu gis ne man de mënatumaa liggéey parce que reasons are personal mooy ne bëgg naa bàyyi liggéey parce que wéruma o dama am yeneen soxla mun naa binda office of the president ne man de man maa bëgg a bàyyi liggéey bi sarta bu ñetteel bi mooy lan attainment of a mandatory retirement age maanaam su demee ba gis ne moom parce que public servant bu nekk sooy liggéey ci government bi nguur bi dangaa gis ne soo amee 65 years dangaa gis ne retirement age la time boobu war ngaa mun a bàyyi liggéey loi bi may na la yoon pour nga bàyyi liggéey beneen sarta bi ci tegu mooy proven case of incapacity misconduct or incompetence maanaam auditor general soo gisee ne mu ngee luubal office boobu noonu wala ngaa gis ne mu ngee use office bi pour personal gain ba personal soxlaam loolu mun naa nekk reason muy tax mun naa nekk lan mooy tax nga war koo mun a génne parce que lim nekk di def teguwut si yoon sarta yooyu la loi bi tegal te yooyu sax su fekkee danga ko fekkee sarta yooyu moo tax yaa koo génnee benn su fekkee xel bi dem na wala disease of the mind maanaam su fi auditor general su demee ba tollu foo xamante ne xel bi demeetut noonu mënut a liggéey condition yooyu soo gisee soo ko waree mën a génnee si loolu da ngaa set up a tribunal wala a medical board bi ñooy lan ñooy ay docteur yi ngaa jël pour ñu assess situation am mooy ne ñu xool ko seetuwaat ko seet ndax dëgg-dëgg àndut ak sagoom pour mun a continuer liggéey bi yooyu ñooy sarta yu tax nga war a mun a am pour génnee auditor général bi te président bi nu mu ko defee ñun à civil society gis nañ ne àndut ak yoon àndut ak dëgg te nu mu ko defee dafa ñaaw our demands mooy ne ñun civil society lañ nekk di laaj ci président bi mu def mooy mu make sure mu delloo auditor général bi place am parce que nu mu ko defee teguwut si yoon na ko delloo si place am mu liggéey mu continuer liggéeyam ñaareel bi lawful process of removal su fekkee ne bugg na koo génnee ñu ngi koo advice ne mu seet sarta yi luñ teg mooy constitution bi ak NAO ak lu mu wax mu make sure mu def loolu noonu su ko defee coow du am waaye fekk mu ngi koo defee neneen rek civil society dinañ am lu ñu wax parce que nu mu amee droit pour seetu wala make sure constitution bi ñu ngi koo toppa ñun tam civil society ñun as citizens doomi réew mi noonu nañ amee ñun tam right boobu noonu so ñun ñi ko advice tamit to end intimidation and harassment ñu bàyyi ndaw yi ñoo toroxal di leen fekk si yoon yi di leen dóor di leen arrest parce que tegu si yoon te neexut si xol parce que soo leen arresté nga yóbbu leen mile 2 wala nga yóbbu leen court nga dem nga béel leen nga bàyyi leen seen kër yi ñu ngi toog foofu ak tiitaange xamuñ lan mooy xew next so da ngaa gis ne sa own dëkka yaa ngi toog foofu waaye ñemeetuloo te loolu neexut si xol parce que ku nekk right bu président mi am pour dëkk si réew mi loolu la right bu nekk every citizen am pour toog si biir réew mi su weesoo loolu tamit ñu ngi fàttali réew mi ne président bi nu mu def nii lu óoradi la te suñ si taxaw depuis léegi ñu bàyyi ko mu jaala élection ak ngee ñëw te président bi comme que def na bii mu saf ko te kenn defu si dara am na fit bi ak sañ-sañ mu toll nii mu dem attaque office of the ombudsman parce que loolu independent institution la moom tamit comme NAO ni mel benn ñaar IEC bi ñeme na faa dem attaque ne dafaa génnee forcefully dafaa génnee IEC chairman bi ñetteel bi mooy mun naa nekk sax chief justice bi mun naa nekk sax human rights commission seen chairperson bi wala speaker of the national assembly all these institutions maanaam kaaraange yëpp office leen yoo xamante ne they are oversight institutions maanaam président mi amul doole pour génnee ren directly waaye comme que def na ko auditor général mu saf ko te kenn defu si dara day sa high likelihood maanaam am na fit bi ak sañ-sañ bi pour dem toppaat ñële pour génnee leen te su ko defee dafaa jaala parce que bii su jaalee rek na leen leer ne beneen di leen jaala loolu mooy suñ taxawaay teel moo tax ñun tey yu toog fii pour wane suñ naxar ne président lu mu def àndul ak yoon te ñu ngi ko wax ne ñun civil society ñu ngi koo bàyyi xel te ñu ngi seetaan te duñ bàyyi yëf yu mel nii muy continuer si biir réew mi su ko defee dañoo génn a wax te suñu jaralee dinañ dem koot parce que loolu la loi bi tëral jërë ngeen jëf.
Jërëjëf Fanta, thank you so much. Just stay stated, and very soon we are now going to open up the question and answer session. But we also want to highlight that this brutality from the police is not only limited to activists or advocates. Even journalists like you, we saw how some of you even sat here, were being chased by the police. Now, this highlights the Gambia problem which we have. How many years since 2016 we've been promised change? There have been numerous commissions, independent bodies. This is similar independent bodies. Millions have been spent on this work of these bodies. Guess what? These bodies, like the TRRC, have highlighted how the PRU, Police Intervention Unit, and I'll call them out, have been harassing, abusing, brutalizing citizens, activists, journalists. We've seen it. And until now, crowd control is not moving an inch. Over billions have been spent on security sector reform and the transitional justice process. But what have we from this? So we stand together. Just to reiterate, Edward Francis Small, 13 organizations have signed this to show you our commitment. Edward Francis Small, Center for Rights and Justice, Center for Budget and Macroeconomic Transparency, the National Youth Parliament, Activista da Gambia, Team Gomsa Bopa, Solo Sandeng Foundation, Women's Association for Women and Victims Empowerment, Bekanyang, Fantanka, Movement for Social Justice, Think Young Women, Music for Change, Charter 70. We thank you, and I'm sure we will start taking questions from you guys, so you can direct whoever you want. I'm seeing somebody there as well. Okay, I'm seeing another person. You will direct your question. So we will take these two questions, and then that if you...
As a group,
Yes.
what we have talked about in terms of concrete steps is public litigation. It's one thing that has come up. Public litigation is one of the concrete steps that we intend to take should this unlawful act continue. That's one. The other thing is how, if the question is wrong, please, you can repeat it, but how we intend to engage citizens and stakeholders
Public support.
for public support. We are already doing that, actually. We are already engaging citizens. We are engaging stakeholders. So government stakeholders, we do intend to engage them. After the press conference, like I said, should the unlawful act continue, we as civil society organizations will probably take representatives and go meet respective government stakeholders, talk with them. I mean, this is our country. It is the government's country as much as it is the citizens' country. So dialogue first, we talk, and then we come to an understanding. If we do not come to an understanding, then we can proceed to public litigation. Now, that is support from the government. That's also a stakeholder. Now, support from the citizens, as I've already mentioned, we are doing that. If you check our social media pages, we keep talking about things that pertain to the citizens of this country, that the citizens of this country must be interested in. Believe me, every single organization you see here, almost every now and then, publishes something on their social media handles or websites that are of high importance, that are of great significance to the Gambian people. We are engaging. The support we need from you is that you engage back. Please be interested. Your lives depend on this. The lives of your children, I mean it when I say this. With every bone in my body, I mean it when I say this. The lives of the Gambian people depend on you, the Gambian people, showing interest in things that the government does. The public funds, how they are spent. Legal affairs, how they are run by the government. Let us be interested. Please show support by being interested in the work that we do. Engage us. If you do not understand, engage us. It is only by working together, the citizens, civil society organizations, and even the government, it is only by working together that we can move this country forward in a harmonious manner.
Thank you very much for probing in again. What we want people to understand is that we have 13 different organizations as part of the signatories to this particular document here. And we have different strengths. We have organizations here whose strength lies in putting up press statements and sharing them on almost every day on issues that happens in this country. We have organizations that are also good at social media campaigns, but also we have organizations that have grassroots structures, and they are almost every day out in the field. As I speak to you, Activista and a few more organizations are already having a caravan on climate issues. We have a project that works on issues around civic engagements and how young people can be included in civic space matters. So our mode of operations is not only focused on targeting the literates. We reach out to almost every corner and every person in this country using the radios and also using community engagements to ensure that people understand what is happening in the Gambia. And our current project is on issues around the shrinking civic space. So we have a lot of works around that end as well. So it's not just focused on the elite and also on the social media as well. Yeah.
So I have one question. Like he said, 13 different organizations are here. Gumsa Bopa, and I will also add, amongst this group are groups who are ready to protest. That's also another mechanism. Obviously, like a coalition, we have to act together. But we have different capacities. Amongst this group, Gumsa Bopa, I'm the spokesperson. For example, we were the victims of police brutality of late. Some of our members have gone through it. We took our complaints to the NHRC. This is not the first time. We have been struggling with police brutality, and we have been trying our best to address them. The first time where we had something concrete come out of it was the issue of Gorgimbub, God bless his soul. But unfortunately, we all know what happened when he assaulted a young man in his custody. And when I myself and my colleagues, we started pressuring, forcing the NHRC, bringing complaints, there was something that happened. He got reassigned, even though we were not happy with it, because we felt that why send him all the way to somewhere, Farafeni or Basse or wherever, and you don't away from here? Are you saying that he was better than there? But that was not the only one. Chipai, a rapper, who was assaulted by some few police officers. They jumped on him. Myself again, and my colleagues, Gumsa Bopa, we took the matter to the NHRC. And what we've done again, if you see, the last time when we were brutalized, we went twice to the NHRC to report police brutality to them. And like my colleague said, we also consider legal action. There is a Prohibition and Prevention of Torture Act. We encourage citizens, anybody who has been brutalized by the police, reach out to us, Gumsa Bopa. We will take you, hold your hand and take you to the NHRC and make sure that there is complaints. Let them hold them to justice. It's not going to happen by us just going on social media and complaining that somebody brutalized us or this police brutality. Journalists, go to the Gambia Press Union, because the police brutality is not only for us as citizens. So the two things that we have done and will continue to do. Yeah.
My name is Mariam JCC, and I work with Women Association for Women and Victims Empowerment. So to add on to what my colleague was saying in terms of the Anti-Torture Act, because WAVE is working specific on that area, and just a few months ago, in June, we had training of different police from PIUs, from different area in the greater Banjul area. And we are also trying to extend this project, especially with the current happenings. And when we are talking about the transitional justice process, we cannot talk about really achieving the never again with all of these things happening. It's as if we're still going back to the same 22 years of where we actually struggled to come out from. So we're actually having series of engagements, series of training specifically for the police and other security sector officer, and that is also really working together with IGP, which is actually the head of the institution, and that is some of the engagement that we are actually looking at. But to us too, also to add on with the current happening, a lot has happened, and separation of power is one of the key things we have to fight for. Who is holding who to account? We all have a voice. The citizens, we always say, are the watchdog of the government. And if we sit down on this issue and not say anything about it, it's going to happen, because that is how we started during Jammeh era. So we are not going to just sit down and fold our hands to just allow these things to continue to happen, when till now, those victims of the past regime are still living without reparation, without accountability, without justice. And this same happening is still happening till date. And part of this 13 civil society organization, as has been said, we all have our strength. We all have our stronghold. Some have active strength when it comes to working with youth. Some have strength when you're working with women, on different areas and different capacities. And we are really engaging grassroots and not just leaving it to the greater Banjul area through various platforms like radio programs, TV talk shows, and also making sure that it doesn't just end at the media level, but strategic engagement with key stakeholders who have active role to play to influence some of this decision making. And I hope that kind of answers your questions.
Yeah, so quickly I will step in for him. You excuse us for that. So I was talking to him. There is a plan for what we call the National Youth Convergence. During the impasse and even before the impasse, Activista used to work with its affiliates then at the time to do this called the National Convergence on the State of the Nation. So there is a plan to bring it back again. The last time we did it was during the impasse. We were gathered at GPI. When things were really, really tough, we invited government officials, and the then late youth minister came on behalf of the government of the Gambia, and Honorable Khalifa Sallah came on behalf of the coalition. So we did series of engagements with different key stakeholders. I think after that we did it once, I think in 2020. And since then, we've missed doing it. So what we do is to mobilize people from all over the country. At least youths are mobilized from every region in the Gambia, gathered at one place to work on a position paper that is submitted to different government stakeholders. So we would invite people from the IEC, since we are very much close to the elections and we don't even know what lies ahead of us. We will invite the IGP if he's going to answer to our call so that he can have direct interactions with the organizations that are seated here, including other movements as well. We will also invite people from, probably we can even invite the president. If he's not able to come, he might send a representative to come and have dialogues with these groups. So these are some of the things that are currently in the pipeline, and hopefully, if things goes as planned, we will definitely have this in under a month.
It's not even whether we are going to do it or not, it is we must do it. We must do it, because the reason we must do this is because, and of course the international community is a major stakeholder as far as the Gambia is concerned, especially when it comes to the affairs of the government, when it comes to the civil society organizations. So to answer your question in short and elaborate a bit more, yes, we will reach out to international communities. We will definitely do this. I'm sure they are aware of it, but we'll reach out to them as a collective group to make our discontent in regard to this issue to them, so that they can join us in this fight. Now, the reason international communities are important and the reason they hold power is because even when you look at our national budget, now please guys, listen to this very carefully. When you look at our national budget, the international communities, foreign governments play a huge role in funding our national budget. But here is the thing. There is a chance that the government may not listen to the international community. If they are wise, they would listen to the international community, and I'm sure the international community will side with the Auditor General. But there is a chance they may not side or they may not listen to the international community, because the international community funds majorly our development budget, as opposed to the budget that is for government officials and their expenditures. So the government officials and their expenditures depend mainly on our tax revenue to fund themselves. Their travels, their salaries, their allowances, they depend on our tax revenue. And they leave our development budget to international community, foreign governments. If the money comes, so be it. If it doesn't come, we are doomed. And even when the money comes, sometimes they will not reveal it to us.
That's the problem.
So this is the thing. Why I'm saying they may not listen, because our development, but it is our development budget as far as financing is concerned. Others may talk on other aspects, but as far as financing of our country's initiatives is concerned, it is our development budget that matters to the citizens more than the recurrent budget. But our development budget doesn't matter much to our government. I don't think it does. If it did, we would be developed by now. So since our development budget is financed by the international community and the government doesn't care about it, they may not listen to the international community. But if they are wise, they will listen to the international community. The government, yes, I am advising the government to listen to the international community. In fact, I am advising the government directly, not indirectly, to reinstate the Auditor General, simple as that. Lawfully reinstate him, to follow the laws of our country, simple as that. The Constitution, the National Audit Office Act. That's the main advice I am giving to the government. Yes.
I don't need to call all their names, but we do have them. And they are, you see them whenever something happens. You will see African Rising, you see Yanamar, you see these organizations. They actually write about what is happening. Wadamos, thank you. Afriki, there's a list. I know if I start, I will miss some, and I don't want to miss some. That's why I didn't want to. But just so you know, to add weight to your question, when we say international partners, let's not also just focus on the donors. Our African international partners are also have a huge impact as well.
Right now, the key government institution that we have considered so far is the courts, the High Court. In terms, oh, okay. Yeah, as far as in terms of our demands, who they are directed to, obviously, when you look at the press statement, it's already clear there that we are talking to the President of the Republic. So, if we will write definitely to the government, to the office of the President, specifically to the office of the President, so that he will see our demands and act upon them. But aside from that, the other government institution that we will reach out to, you remember when I was answering a question, I talked about stakeholder engagement, reaching out to the government, talking with them, making sure that we resolve this issue without any fight between the civil society and the government. Obviously, the State House is involved, the police, the Gambia Police Force is involved, the National Assembly is involved because they are the lawmakers. The National Audit Office, in fact, should come to the table. So these people, these respective people, we would like to bring together, have discussions with them, find a way out. That's one way. Our statement will be sent to the President's office. The other thing, last resort, public litigation. Obviously, we will go to the courts for that. Hopefully, we will not reach that. But if we must, we will. I hope that answers your question.
Here, as for me in particular, I don't know Modou Cissé. This is not because we believe Modou Cissé is some special savior. No. But whoever is the Auditor General is brought into that place according to the law. And they can only be removed in line with the laws. And the person who got in there, who we recognize officially as the Auditor General, according to us, right, is Modou Cissé. Not because of his anything special, but because of that's the role that he has gone through due process to be given that role. And due process can only be used to remove him from that role. To answer your question with regards to the Gambia Armed Forces, yes, as you know, they say the Gambia is, what, 5th most peaceful country, right? Or 4th? Yes, we're doing very well, but we still have an invading force in the Gambia, who we, of course, invited, right? Which is ECOMIG, yes? You see, and they're still here. And every now and then, even if you look at those army people that you're talking about, you will see they're wearing different badges of different countries. And that is what we have here in this country. Now, does it really look like, according to what you see, does it really look like we really need all that military presence? This is a sign that our security sector reform has not worked. Or it's not being successful. Because no matter what, even if it's not all of the ECOMIG should leave, by now most of them should have been phased out. And their presence, you will not be asking me that question as a journalist, because that's what you observed. Right? We don't feel like we want to stay in a police state or a military state. Being 4th most peaceful country in Africa should be seen, visibility. We should have that feeling, right? And not just the army, also the police, the brutality which we are feeling. So I know these are issues which we are seeing, but what we are saying is pretty much the same thing. The change that has been promised Gambians. One of them is security sector reform. Because of to secure the current president and bring him in place, ECOMIC had to come in. And until now, they are still here. How many years on? All right, so I think it's very, very clear that a lot needs to happen, right? So, but we are reminding this government to go back to the drawing board, to implement the recommendations, the SSR, the transitional justice, the CRC, all of those monies that have been spent. And this is why some of these things are not showing.
Is to form a union. We'll always want to be part of this confederation that Mr. Cham has mentioned. We are open to collaborating with all civil society organizations at all times on matters that are relevant to the Gambia, that are especially relevant to our domain. And our work, as Mariam can attest to it, has always been centered on that, to making sure that we collaborate with civil society organizations. We work on the budget and the economy, majorly. Last year, we wanted to form a consortium with other civil society organizations to assess the budget when it came out, to make sure that we assess it thoroughly and make our complaints known to the National Assembly so that when they are passing the budget, they consider our recommendations. We worked towards that last year. And this year also, we are planning on doing the same thing. And this group, the idea of this group actually came out of an existing group already. And if it weren't for that group existing in the past, probably this may not have happened. So I can speak for my organization. I can also speak for NYP and also WAVE and also Activista. No, I haven't forgotten. Activista and even Askanwi and also Team Gomsabopo. I can speak for all of them that are here and others that are here as well. I can speak for a lot of them that they are always open to collaboration. One thing that I would say is that for us to maintain, as he has mentioned, for us to maintain this confederation, this union, we must not base it on money. That if funds are not available, we cannot do it. If funds are not available, we cannot do it. This has been the mantra of most organizations for obvious reasons, justified reasons, obviously. But we must not base the union on money. If we do, it may not hold. So what I would say is let's depend on our Gambianness, let's depend on our patriotism, and let's depend on the fact that the Gambia can only move forward through unity.
Right? So thank you guys. I'm very grateful, members of the press, for coming. Just the closing remarks is that, please, we need all of you on board. We need the media. We need everybody to play their part. We need citizens. We need civil society. We need to come together, all of us, right? And I just want to highlight, just to respond to my colleague, Jeff, just to respond to him so that he realizes, we were together, the three of us, Edward Francis Small, Gala, and Gumsa Bopa. We were together in this coalition, right? Now, here we are. Gumsa Bopa is here. Edward Francis Small is also here, right? Only Gala is not here. But what are we doing? What we are doing here is answering to the call of Gala. Because of they are the ones who actually initiated going there, and they had a press conference, and we've all seen what has happened. So we are furthering their action, and I believe that they should be part of this, and I'm sure we will reach out to them. This is not just about one person, like I say, Modu Sise. It's about what are we doing. It's about the action that we are taking. And when we do it with purpose, like today, we stand a better chance. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Time is running out, and we'll please share the information and reach out for our press statement. Thank you.